Well, at the round table this morning, we have retired Judge, Garfield County District Judge Ron Franklin. Judge Franklin, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome.
Good morning.
Appreciate you joining us. Judge, you've been, I believe, on the bench for over 19 years. He's a graduate of that school over in Stillwater called Oklahoma State, but also graduated from the University of Oklahoma College of Law back in 1966. So we appreciate you being with us today. And you are on the board of directors of Crime Stoppers, and we just appreciate you being here this morning, enlightening us about what Crime Stoppers is all about. And I know Sarah's got the first question for you, so all eyes on you, Judge.
Okay.
Good
I'm
morning.
ready. Good morning.
Good morning, Judge Franklin. We're glad to have you here this morning.
Thank you.
you
Glad
for
to
your
be here.
time. First off, we want to start off by, why don't you tell us a little bit of how you got involved with Crime Stoppers?
Well, it all started, I had breakfast with KP Simpson about every morning for years. And he and Bill Munn got involved in Crime Stoppers because of Bill, and they're in business and they're trying to find a way. And they pitched it to a few civic clubs and maybe the chamber. Just couldn't quite get it off the ground, so they decided that maybe we would just do it on our own. So I said, well, I'll do the legal work for it because I was in private practice then. And we incorporated it. My partner got the tax exempt for it and got on the board of directors. And I was on there until I got on the bench when I had to get off because of a conflict. Then I got back on the board when I retired. So I've been involved in it from the beginning.
And I guess the beginning was late 80s, early 90s, right?
Well, actually, we were, I think in April of '91 is when we actually finished the corporation and got it going.
Okay. Well, I found that very interesting because sometimes you think of Crime Stoppers, we think that it's been around forever, but 1991 does sound like forever.
That's not very long ago.
Yeah. Okay, Judge, you meet monthly.
Correct.
And you just, at the Crime Stopper meetings, can you open up the window and let us know what do you discuss in these meetings?
Well, basically, of course, we talk about our finances to see how we're doing. And then also the liaison from the police department will bring us information on tips that they've received and recommendations to whether or not we should give a reward to that person. We will discuss that and determine how much of a reward we can give. We give up to $1,000. So it could be $10, $100, $500, whatever we feel, the board feels is appropriate for that particular tip.
Let me ask real quick to piggyback onto that. You do not know the individual. When you're making a decision, if that's $100 or $1,000, you have no clue who that person is. It's identified by a number or something, correct?
That's correct. It's strictly anonymous. We have no...
So that has no bearing whatsoever on the money amount. Say, oh, that's the cousin down the street. So let's
we don't know. In fact, we generally don't know whether male or female.
Very good. Very good.
Mm-hmm. I would think that if people had information, it would be automatic to come to you and share it, or go to the police station and share it. But I find it interesting that this is not the case. Why do people not report crimes or participate in Crime Stoppers?
Well, they participate, they will go to Crime Stoppers when they won't go to the police department, because that way they don't have to tell people who they are. So the person they're giving the tip on, there'll be no retaliation there. Their friends won't think they're snitches, things of that nature. Otherwise, they will give the information in order to remain anonymous to Crime Stoppers, where they won't go to the police department. Now, there are a lot of tips we receive from people who do not ask for rewards. It's just the idea that we don't know who they are.
And I guess people, they respond because it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, it's the right thing to do. They know they need to do something, but they don't want to do it publicly.
We know there is a percentage of people that are reluctant to get involved, and which is understandable. But before we came on the air this morning, we were talking a little bit about some of the numbers, and you said something, Judge, that on average, with every 350 tips, that equates to about 20 arrests.
That's correct.
Is there any other numbers that you could share with us that,
Oh.
say, in a month, here in Enid, Oklahoma, how many tips come in?
I think it averages about 70 tips a month, with it coming in either by the phone or by the tip line or whatever. Mm-hmm.
Very good.
That is awesome.
Since inception, there's been literally thousands of tips received.
How does Crime Stoppers help to resolve these problems?
Well, basically, by the Crime Stoppers gets the information about who did something or the tip to solve a crime. We can we cover property. We've recovered hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of property over the years. You can have arrests made out of that. Sometimes a tip doesn't lead to an arrest, but the police will be able to recover stolen property. Now, generally, there's no reward paid for that, and you're generally not asked, but it comes in on the Crime Stoppers tip line.
Our special guest at the roundtable this morning is retired Garfield County District Judge Ron Franklin. Judge Franklin, let me ask you this. You touched on the subject of money, and as serving on the governing board of Crime Stoppers, that is a 501c3. I never knew that. There is this financial reward, and you touched on a little bit about this could be a $100 reward or a $1,000 reward. How difficult is it for you as a governing body to say, okay, that's a $500 value of a tip, or versus $1,000 or $100? Is it challenging for you all on the board?
We've had some disagreements over it, certainly,
Okay.
but it's not too difficult to reach a decision. We have the group gets together, and some will say 1,000, or some will say 100, and maybe we'll come in the middle. So there's some compromise goes on.
So how can we inform the people that are watching us right now? How do we, the information to contact or reach Crime Stoppers if they have any information?
Well, if they have some information, of course, we have a telephone line, and then we also have a tip that you can text a tip line in, and those numbers are available through the police department, or in fact, you have them up there on your screen at the present time, I believe. And if you do that, then that'll get the information in.
So we're aware of you make a phone call at 580-233-6233, or you can text that. But also you can go to enid.org, and I think it's /Enid Police or Police. But anyway, through the City of Enid website, you can submit that as well. And again, all of this is anonymous. Let's talk a little bit more about the money, Judge. Here you're giving away $500 or $1,000 or even $50 on a particular tip. So the funds have to come from somewhere. So how is Crime Stoppers funded?
We are all privately funded. We have no public funds, only from private donations, from businesses, from individuals. Are we funded? We do not receive any money from the City of Enid or the State of Oklahoma. It is strictly privately funded.
I was just so, I guess I've been living under a cloud or something. I had no clue, and I dangerously assumed that there was a fund somewhere through government, through the police or something. But as a 501c3, you're in the fundraising business as well.
We do, and we have fundraisers. In fact, we're going to be at First Friday. We'll have a booth there this month. And then we've had, it's been a while, but we've had hot dogs on the courthouse lawn, and lunch and things like that, asking for donations. And when KP Simpson was still around, we sold sarsaparilla.
That was legal, right?
It was legal. That's a non-alcoholic drink.
Very good. We got to close our visit here at the Roundtable, Judge, real quick. Are there needs for people to serve on the board? There's needs for funding, but is there any other needs that you could share with us real quick?
Well, we can always use fresh faces on the board. If anybody's interested, they certainly can contact Crime Stoppers, either me or any of the members.
Okay. Anything else that we need to cover that we haven't this morning?
I think you got it covered pretty well.
Well, thank you for your involvement for, 20-some years?
Oh, yeah.
Plus? And I think that would be qualified for a public servant, right? Very good, Judge.